Stickney is absent. Marat.
Here.
Brunberg is present, and Montez.
Here.
And we have a whole bunch of director staff. We have Barry, Jennifer, Horacio, Jason, and Melissa.
And we have our new recreation coordinator here,
Oh,
Andrew Gross, at the end of the table. So very happy to introduce Andrew. He's officially starting his job as coordinator on Monday. So tomorrow is his last day as our rec specialist, and yeah, he's been with us for, how long, a year and a half or so, Andrew?
About 2 years now.
Going on 2 years. As a rec specialist, he knows most all of our instructors. He's very familiar with our programs, getting more and more familiar with our special events in our community, and he's well-loved among staff, and we're happy to have him.
Welcome, Andrew. So,
Hey, maybe from Jason.
just a note, the Board of Directors may take up any agenda item at any time regardless of the order listed. Action may be taken on any item on the agenda. So, will you all join me now, please, with the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Directors, you've reviewed the agenda for this evening.
I move that we approve the agenda as written.
A second. Okay, we have a first and a second. Any discussion? All right. Call for
All in favor?
aye.
Aye.
I will,
Opposed?
no, I
Oh.
can do that.
Okay.
Good.
All right, so that's 4-0-0, one absent. Public discussion. Any person may address the board upon any subject with the jurisdiction of the Orangevale Recreation and Park District, with each speaker being limited to 3 minutes. However, the chairperson can impose a reasonable limitation to the maximum time per person per agenda item to allow the board to complete business. Any matter that requires action will be referred to our staff or our committee for a report and action items at a subsequent meeting. All right, item 6, we have our minutes.
I move we approve the minutes of the regular meeting from September 8th, page 1 through 7.
Second. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? No? Then we'll take the vote.
All in favor?
Aye.
It's staying, it was
Oh.
good here.
Okay, so that's 3-0-1. One
One
absent.
and one, yeah, one abstain.
Okay.
3-0-1.
So we'll move on to item 7, correspondence. Item A.
Director Montez, I'm not sure if anybody here wanted to speak on something outside of the agenda, or is everybody here for the history project item? All right, good.
We love an audience.
Yay!
Awesome, okay.
So, yeah, we have 3 items of correspondence, all very positive for the district, and the first one was an email from an Orangevale resident, Mary Teague, who expresses appreciation for the new fitness equipment that's at the community park. She has back troubles, and there's one particular item on the fitness equipment that's really helping her back a lot, helping her walk about 4 times as far as she used to. So, yeah, so that was nice to hear from her, and just as a reminder that fitness equipment was funded by the Park District, the Rotary Club, and California Parks and Recreation Society as a combined effort.
I see it being used a lot.
Good.
It gets a lot of use.
Good.
That's great.
Then the second item, an email from Carol Price complimenting the park maintenance crew for keeping our park so clean and beautiful. It's nice to hear.
They do a good job.
And then we had a card from the HEART program, Homeless Assistance Resource Team, thanking us for our contribution to their backpack drive. And we donated over 50 backpacks. We had a lot of help from the Junior Giants program, which Andrew is a part of. They contributed roughly 50, and we added like another 4 or 5 that staff brought in. So that was, out of 700, we contributed over 50, so that was great.
Very cool.
That's great.
And then we have an ad that was in the Orangevale View that talks about our upcoming programs and special events, including our big special event tomorrow night, which is our Family Fright Night.
Awesome. We're looking forward to it. So that will put us at item 8, our consent calendar.
I move, we approve the consent calendar, item 8.
So that'll be item 8 through 8.3.
Right. 8-1 through 8-3, mm-hmm.
We have a second and a motion? A motion and a second. Any discussion? All right.
Roll call, Morass,
Yes.
Brunberg is a yes, Montez,
Yes.
and Presnell,
Yes.
and Stickney is absent. So that's 4-0-1 absent.
All right. Item 9, non-consent matters, general fund.
I move we approve item 9, non-consent matters, general fund.
Will be for item 9A, 9B.
Right, yeah, 9A and B.
Are we doing them separately?
We'll do them together.
Yeah,
We don't do them separately.
that's right, we
We
did.
didn't do
So
the rest of
we
them
didn't do-
separately.
yeah,
So it
9
would be for 9,
9A.
item 9, A and B.
A second?
Okay.
We have a motion, a second. Any discussion?
Nope.
Okay.
Brunberg is a yes, Montez,
I abstain.
Presnell, and Stickney is absent, and Morass.
Can I vote on that? It should be, yeah,
Yeah, you can.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, she has to abstain, that's why we separate those out from non-consent. So that's 3, 0 no's,
Just had to make
1
sure.
abstain, and 1 absent.
So at this time, I'd like to move the agenda item 13, new business 13A,
A,
ahead of all the other items. District?
Yes, 13A is, we have a presentation tonight from Mark Ehring with the Orangevale History Project, and it's a presentation that will hopefully sway the board to approve a sign that he wants to have installed at Orangevale Community Park to highlight the railroad from the 1800s. So, Mark, it's all yours. I don't know if you want to introduce your posse.
Mark Ehring, president of the Orangevale History Project, new nonprofit in the area, of course, our community. Yes, this is part of our growing membership with the History Project, being the official historical society for this community. So, yeah, we have, let's have our board members stand up real quick. Anybody who's on the board, so Mary, Kay, Marilyn, Deanna, David. So this is most of our board as well, along with myself. So yeah, thanks you for having us. Excellent. So yes, there was a railroad. I think there's been legend of that and different talks in history about that. I won't go into all the details tonight, but we do have a presentation on it on our YouTube channel from a Kevin Knaus. He did it last December, so it's almost been a year since we had the presentation. A little bit about ourselves. The History Project, it was attempted to start with the Community Council back in 2019, and then COVID hit, and everything just shut down and went quiet. So in spring, summer of last year, the Women's Club volunteered Marilyn Edwards to start this back up and see what would happen, and we had quite a few people show up, a lot of interest from the community. So by the time we got into the fall, we had a newsletter going out, a monthly newsletter, and we were also partnering with the Orangevale View and providing articles on a regular basis, and are still continuing to do that. We had a Facebook group last summer, started with 26 people. We are currently over 1,100 members in the History Project Facebook group, and you're all welcome to join that as well. We had the officers. We went and got official in March of this year. We elected our officers, and by July, end of July, we had our IRS 501c3 letter. So that's an amazing accomplishment. It goes to our board and our team that's been working tirelessly to make sure that this organization comes together and preserves the history of Orangevale. We do our monthly live streams, thanks to Orangevale Live behind me, and that's done mainly at the OV Chamber of Commerce, which is one of our other great supporters for the organization. So yes, the official History Project and our website is up and running thanks to Dean and all his hard work as well. So 3 weeks after we got our 501c3, the deadline was there for Sac County's TOT grant program. So we had 3 weeks to put something together, and we did. We have a proposal in, we'll hear in December, about our interactive touchscreen software, Intuiface. We're proposing that with a large touchscreen on a mobile TV cart that we can then take to different events. We can have perhaps the community center. We will have docent teams hosting those, looking to go into the middle schools, the high schools, because we know the technology is something the younger generations would enjoy, and that'd be a way for us to then give them some of the history of our local community in an interface that they're familiar with. So we're looking forward to hopefully getting that grant and moving this forward quickly. If not, it's still on our agenda and our plan to do this. We'll just have to get funds in another way. So just something we're working on to show you that we are definitely serious about being a part of this community for a long time. And one last thing about this, I forgot. Eventually, we are looking to have a solution like this in a community museum. So that's our future goal. We want a museum in the community to celebrate the folks here and the history we have. So let's get to the railroad. 1861 to 1866 was the running time of the railroad. Obviously, they had to build it before that, and then it took a little bit to tear it down. The picture I have here is from the Center for Sacramento History. This is a beautiful picture, and we're looking from the Ashland side of the American River out towards Folsom. This is Folsom over here. This would be the Steel Truss Bridge in the future. This bridge got torn down by the many floods that came through. So these exact same locations is where the Steel Truss Bridge is now. You would have the Rainbow Bridge through here in the early 1900s, 1919 I think it was. And then, yes, the railroad bridge ran right through there as well. And it ran until 1866, which is when they condemned it, and that pretty much put that railroad out of business. But this is one of the pictures we'll be looking to, hopefully in our proposal, have in the trail sign and show people some of the exciting history of the area. So for the trail sign, luckily, we have a piece of this berm, the railroad berm that they built to put the railroad tracks on, is still in the park, right near the corner of Green Oaks Elementary, and it comes into the park on like a northwest track. And yeah, I see nodding heads, so yes. And this trail right here, you can see a bit of the walking trail that's already there. And what we're doing is we're looking straight down the berm, down towards Green Oaks Elementary from this location, which would be a great location for something we're talking about. Some of the neat history is we had Theodore Judah. A lot of people are bragging about Theodore Judah being in their community. And well, he was in ours too. He did the surveys for this railroad, and he got the whole railroad started. And then he went on to move to do the Central Pacific Transcontinental Railway. That was his next project after this one. So they got it built. It went to the future town of Lincoln. C.L. Wilson, his middle name is Lincoln, Charles Lincoln Wilson. So it's not named after Abraham Lincoln. The town of Lincoln is named after Mr. Wilson. It's an interesting fact. And you'll also, just fun tidbit, Roseville didn't exist. It was a place called Grider's Ranch. This railroad ran through Grider's Ranch to Lincoln, and then when the Central Pacific came through, they crossed at a place called Junction. And if you know Old Roseville, there's a place called Junction. That's where these two railroads crossed. So neat little fact there. So it ran until, of course, the railroad bridge got condemned. They had to go out of business. Leland Stanford was very gracious to buy them out and use all the bits and pieces of the railroad tracks and rails and stuff to do the Transcontinental Railroad. So they used that and recycled it to go across the Sierras. So I think a trail sign right about here would be a perfect place to tell about the history of this particular event in our area here. I made a map. This is a U.S. Geological Survey. Service. You can't see it really good on the top there, but this is a called a LIDAR or a hill shading feature. What they do with radar, they'll figure out where the ground is, and then they use shading to show you even inches of difference. They can get to inches. And so when they use this for archaeological stuff, they can see where there might have been an old city underneath the jungle. There's different ways that they use this technology. For us, we have Filbert right here. You have your parking lot up near the corner of Oak and Filbert, Green Oaks Elementary School. And from this very corner here, you can see this raised area running through here. That's the berm, and it crosses a creek there. You can if you go down to that creek, you can get down there and you can see where the berm would have been a bridge right there, a little bridge to cross that creek. And then it fades out right there at the walking trail, which would be, again, a great spot to drop a sign to share that with our community as they're taking walks in the area. So sample trail sign, I happened to be in Hawaii recently. You can see my nice shirt. I saw some signs. I was like, oh, those look really cool. So this was an example of something I'd seen somewhere else. But, you know, we got some decent examples locally as well. And that would be the Shackleton Woods. You have a couple signs there already. That's great. And so going with that same sort of theme, I think would be a great idea. There's different designs on how the legs support the sign. We're flexible, but this would be an example, and we try to stick with that same look and feel in the color schemes and whatnot as well. So here's a mock-up, and again, this is my version of a mock-up. I'm not a graphic artist. This is just to give you an idea of what it could look like. We're going to, of course, if this is approved, we would get a graphic artist to come in and actually do this well, and of course get it approved by our board and your board. So this has the information about the railroad. It was actually the second railroad pretty much west of the Mississippi, and that's kind of a neat feature behind the Sacramento Valley Railroad. Here's that picture we were talking about, and we have, I think I could, somebody could do a better job than this, but I took a different angle on that berm to kind of give you a visualization of where the trails would have been, the rails would have been running had it been still there in place. And then we'd be putting the sign hopefully right about there so that it would match up with, they're looking at the display and they're looking down the railroad berm and they can imagine railroad, the train coming their way from Folsom. We have the map here. This is really neat. We did a lot of research. The LiDAR data helped us find these red spots here. These are existing railroad berms or cuts that we could find, and we put them on as a connected dots. So you can see it generally went this way, came over here, and then went up towards Roseville. So we thought that would be a neat way to use the information we had to share people, and they could imagine the rest of the trail, the run of the railroad from there. And then I didn't see QR codes on the ones out there, but I'm hoping QR codes would be the in thing now. We were hoping to do one for, of course, OVparks, and then one for OV history, so they can find additional history about the area and also additional information about the parks programs and activities going on. So, proposal would be to partner with us. We are proposing to raise all the funds for this trail sign. We have already a steel person donating. It came up to us at our farmer's market booth. He's in construction. He's like, yeah, I'll build the steel support. You just tell me exactly what you need. I'll custom make it for you for free. I'm like, okay, well, we'll take that. So we have that, and then so it would be a matter of us raising funds for the graphic arts design, and then the actual sign that would be mounted onto the to the feet, the mount there in the ground. So yes, we would of course want to have both our board and your board approve the final design for the sign, and we'd love to have a dedication in the spring of 2023 and have a big celebration, bring out representatives and news channel and all that stuff, and have a great celebration of that activity. So with that, I will thank you for your time and leave it to you to let us know what you think.
I move that we approve the installation of an informational and educational sign at the Orangevale Community Park that is to be provided by the Orangevale History Project. The sign will reflect the history of California Central Railroad that crossed through what is the Orangevale Community Park. The sign will be funded through the Orangevale History Project, but I have ideas of where you can get additional money. And the content, design and location will be approved in advance by the district. Do I have a second?
I second that.
All right. Board of Directors, do we have a discussion?
I have a question. Is not at Woodbridge Ranch, that brick tower there, isn't that?
Cistern or whatever it was called.
Right, isn't that one of the water towers for the,
Possibly, there's debate on that. Kevin Knaus did a lot of research on that. Theoretically it was, but we couldn't find anything like, this property of the railroad or something on the side of the brick. There's a round kind of cistern thing in the park in Woodbridge Ranch. We did take pictures. It's close to the route.
I was told 50 years ago, that's how long I've been here, that 49er Realty was one of the people that helped build and design Woodbridge Ranch. I was told by one of the directors there that that water tower and the berm going across the dam and the berm on the other side was the extension of the railroad.
Yeah, that berm was definitely part of the railroad, so that it is really close to the railroad. I don't know if it's right next to it, but it's very close.
It's a continuation on through to actually to Lincoln at that time.
Right.
So, my dad worked for the railroad for 35 years.
Oh, neat.
He built the trains.
So Manny, is that a,
So, yeah, it's
all right, so let's go for that
It's a
vote.
yes.
definitely yes. I mean, I'm all for railroads.
Yeah. Okay. So we have a first and a second.
We ready to vote?
Ready to vote?
Montez,
Yes.
President,
Yes.
Stickney is absent, Mraz,
Yes.
and Brunberger's a yes. That is 4-0-1.
Yay.
Yay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for your hard work. I think a couple of suggestions would be to apply for the Community Foundation grant online, as well as apply for the Big Day of Service.
Oh, they could help you install
That would be a
it.
project I'm sure the foundation would be interested in supporting. Just a thought. Love to have we love the articles in the Orangevale View as well, so
I
keep
do
sharing.
like them too. Those are us. I read every one.
So that's why we're here. This is good stuff, folks. Thank you for your hard work and your dedication to the history of Orangevale. So,
All right,
all right,
Thank you.
so
on
now,
to maybe not so exciting matters, no.
standing, no, we go to
We're
standing
going to go
committees.
to standing committees.
Standing committees. First of all, we won't be insulted if you feel you'd rather be someplace else tonight.
Yeah, you don't have to
You don't have to
stay here.
stay.
You don't have to stay for the
We
rest of our
get people
boring
who
stuff.
come and leave, and thanks to Ken, you can watch it even on YouTube later, so,
Oh,
There you go.
Go spend some money out there.
yeah. So, but we'll continue on with the standing committee report, and that would be no administrative report, so we'll go to 10B, that's maintenance and operations.
Yes, so the Maintenance Committee met on September 20th. Hey, see you, Joyce. We met on the 20th, and the recap notes from that meeting are attached. There were a couple of things that came up that it would be good to get board direction on. They were recommended by the committee. The committee recommended that a licensed electrician should come out to inspect the electrical box at the amphitheater, because it could be an extensive,
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
so that was recommended by, in the committee members are Directors Merez and President. And that was a recommendation from them.
Thank you.
So, can I
And
take
that-
direction from the board to move forward with that?
I believe we should.
Yes, I'm in agreement.
Great.
Do we need to make a motion, or no? That's just a recommendation?
It's just a
You just,
recommendation.
yeah, in the board,
General direction.
general direction?
Perfect.
So I want to make sure there was board support. Yep. Another item that came up was Director Merez recommended planting lantanias? Those plants or trees? I forget. It was
Plants.
plants, right?
Lantanas?
Lantania
Yes.
tree, plants.
Lantanas.
Lantanas are very
Lantanas,
colorful.
thank you.
They're strong.
And hardy
Drought
And-
tolerant.
yeah,
and drought tolerant.
and beautiful.
Yes.
That was his recommendation.
And butterflies, like them.
Yeah.
Oh, good, they attract
And
butterflies.
hummers.
Right.
Yes, they attract butterflies.
All right. We're trying to beautify the entrance to the disc golf as you drive in, that area where the sign is.
Okay.
And that was a recommendation that was made, so,
Can't wait to see them there.
All right.
all right.
Anything else?
Those were the only two items that I believe were recommendations that we need to bring. Hold on, let's see.
So you'll update us on the trail committee?
Oh, there's one other. The board needed to decide if a border to the pathway at the roadway pathway project here. Right now, it's DG pathway, and do we want a border or not? And that came to this committee, the maintenance committee. It also came to the trails committee last week.
Right.
And both seemed somewhat split, not sure which way we want to go. And the recommendation was for me to check with Peter Larimer, our architect, about an ad alternate to the cost for a metal border, which is what he recommended. It's long-lasting and would keep the trail together. And but do we want it more natural? Are we going to pave it down the road? If we're going to have concrete walkway down the road, it probably
Or
doesn't make much
asphalt.
sense.
I'd like to
Or
have a
asphalt.
cost.
Yeah,
well.
that's why I said I want it costed both ways,
Yeah.
with and without the border.
So can you bring that back to
Yeah,
us?
I'll bring it
Okay.
back. Yeah, I can even email it to you once I get that.
Fantastic.
So,
And it could be in some places and not in others too,
Correct.
depending on
yes.
the topography and the landscaping that's there, so.
Right.
Perfect.
Yep.
All right. So
Good.
we'll go on to item 10G, which is the Trails Committee.
Before I'm sorry, right. Actually, 10D, the personnel policy, there's no report, but I was hoping we could schedule a meeting for November. And that is Directors Merez and Montez.
Okay.
Sometime in November, we're making progress on our policies and procedures manual, which I know has been way delayed, and it's been delayed for good reasons, I mean, rational reasons. And the latest is Governor Newsom has some bills that he signed that need to be worked out, and those will be part of this new, in Patty Ayers, will work with Patty Ayers to address these things, and she's going to get the proper terminology and literature into a policy for us.
Just let me know.
All right. And then for G, Trails Committee, we will have the minutes hopefully ready this week or early next week, and send those out to the two committee members to review and then get back to us, and then we'll have that at next board meeting,
Wonderful.
okay?
So that's the next board.
I think that was it.
Okay, so we'll go on to your administrative report.
Oh, I'll send emails out, yeah. Administrators report, just want to touch on a couple of things. Met with Meliora Consultants at Fulton Camino District to discuss the contract we currently have with FEC Police.
Yes.
And I think I brought this up a couple months ago, that the district administrator has never managed a police department before. And so she hired consultants to just make sure they're doing everything right, and if there's any better efficiencies, that they can address those. We're one of 8 Parks and Recreation districts using FEC Police, and they wanted to interview the district administrators for all 8. And so I interviewed with them a couple weeks ago, and pretty straightforward questions: our level of satisfaction, communication, what are they addressing in our parks? What's our level of need for crimes versus reminding people of our policies? Those type of questions, and our level of satisfaction. How many hours are we using them? And really, my only partial criticism was related to communications, related to our billing. But it was strictly a matter of them having a change in personnel, and just us clarifying what our needs are.
Okay.
But overall, I would say our level of satisfaction is quite high, but we don't need them as much as other agencies, and usually not for crime matters, more for policy reminder matters.
Okay.
One other thing I just want to bring up, other agencies have concerns about FEC Police ticketing for things such as missing one license plate, having one license plate instead of 2.
Get that a lot.
Yeah, certain things like that, is that the reason we want them there? Is it really upsetting our customers?
It is.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah,
'cause,
I would think that that's not what we want them for.
I get that, I get that kind of conversation as soon as I go with Phil to the disc golf course.
Okay, it's good to know.
Yeah.
It's great if it leads to, them being able to search a car if they suspect something, but if it's just,
But the comments I get is that they just drive through to ticket.
yeah. And that
I could-
could be true.
I could see expired registration, though. If you don't have
Yeah.
registration, that's
Yeah.
worth the ticket.
So, yeah, but I mean,
They get a lot
that's
of
what they
those.
feel like, they're just driving through just to do that ticket.
And we
Yeah.
pay for more than that.
As far as respect for our customers, we don't
Yeah.
want to,
So it's,
Yeah,
you know,
missing a front license plate, I don't think it's something we should be
okay.
spending
Do you have
time on.
an upcoming meeting with them to, is this gonna be a recurring thing, or?
There's going to be another meeting, I believe, in November, and we're all going to have a recap of, after their interviews with everybody, so I'll bring more to the board. Okay?
Okay.
And let's see what else do I have here. September 22nd, OVparks hosted and participated in the Shred event, and I know Director Merez was here for that, and get a lot of help from staff as well. It's a really good community event. Wasn't as well attended as last year, but it did raise as much money. The rates went up, and maybe that's why there weren't as many people here. But they had these great gift bags, so it was worth it, more worth it this year for people that donated.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
darn, I missed that gift bag.
It was full.
I didn't have a full enough box, and I didn't have time to fill it.
I had plenty, I just didn't have time to get it all down here, so I
Oh.
look forward to the next one.
Okay, well, next September.
Oh, then I'll have a lot more. A lot more.
Hope you have room in your garage.
Yeah.
September 27th through 29th, myself and Superintendent Ron Ash attended the California Debt and Investment Advisory Commission Conference, and it was because we are hopefully going to be entering into some sort of a debt with an assessment district.
I've never heard those words before. I'm hoping to.
I know. If we want our master plan.
I know, but I've never heard.
I know, it's
I'm
not,
looking forward to going to
what people
that.
normally wish for. But if that's the case, then it was very helpful for us to be there, and it's very informative. A lot was, revolved around bonds, and a fair amount of that applied to assessments as well. But there was a fair amount, I think Jennifer and I both wished it applied more to what we're going to be doing, but it was very valuable.
Well, even the assessment is to bring us in revenue, but then we're gonna go into debt by using that assessment to get a loan.
Right.
So hopefully it gave you insight on how that's all gonna roll out.
It gave us an insight on how the interest rates might impact that,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
So unfortunately at this
Yeah,
time.
not such a good way.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
the good news is that interest rates are, and probably will be by the time we might need to borrow, lower than, historically, quite a bit lower than
Let's hope.
usual.
Fingers crossed.
And then September 30th, the CPRS District 2 held their annual Parks Equipment Expo and Rodeo, and proud to say that OVparks participated and did quite well. There were 5 events, and we came in first in 2 of those 5 events.
All right.
Yep, we did not take home the trophy this year, but we gave a battle.
All right, well, next year's challenge.
That's right, that's right. That's pretty much it for my report, and on to Jason and Mel for recreation.
So we're still plugging along here. In what we do, we haven't hit our numbers quite well recently, but on that note, we have Andrew now in there, but when Andrew got this job, then I had no rec specialist, but now I have 2. We just hired one, and the other will be as our head swim coach, since she's not swimming right now. We brought her on to work through the year. So hopefully, in most respects, we'll be doing a lot.
Volleyball is doing super well.
Yeah, I have probably majority of the teams in the volleyball league compared to Sunrise and Carmichael.
Oh, wow.
Awesome.
Carnegie itself has 7 teams. Past year has 8. No, 4. 2 and 2, 4. Sorry, my math is going on. I have 7 at Gold River and 8 at Golden Valley.
Very cool,
Yeah.
very cool.
That's great.
So it's quite popular for that. And the next basketball will be right around the corner for them. But as well, we have all our fun stuff coming up, so everybody's going to be dressed up tomorrow, right? What?
Yeah, I got my costume, yeah. Came in
know
the mail
about this.
yesterday.
So we have that coming up. There's,
I'll be in my other vehicle, my broom.
hey, whatever it takes to get here,
That's right.
we'll see you here. Maybe get a little bit of Quidditch in. All righty. Slow night now. My comedy, it's just not hitting.
Don't quit your day job. Appreciate
We have
you here.
craft fair coming up, and there's this one thing in December that you guys might want to come to. We have this, we call it the tree lighting,
Yeah.
and it's gonna be spectacular. All the pressure's on now. No.
What day is that again? Are we doing it the first weekend in?
December
December
2nd.
2nd.
Yeah, second.
Friday, December 2nd.
Good job.
Okay. Cool.
Good. Any questions on recreation?
No.
On to parks, Horacio. Oh, Mel, Andrew, anything you want to add?
Come to Family Friday night.
We already said that they're
it'll
gonna
be
get dressed
scary.
up.
It'll be scary.
Okay.
Yes. I already have my wand.
Right, Horacio, anything?
Well, we welcome the cooler weather, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
After a good few days of over 100. That was pretty brutal, but now we're cooling off a little bit, and the fall and the winter are noticeable now. Got a lot more moisture in the air, so. A couple things that we got, it will be in the next report I want to mention. I don't know if you plan to mention about the report on the pump installation. If you have that, I'll leave that.
Go ahead, go
Oh,
ahead.
no, it was, you passed it up here.
Got the
You s-
pictures. I
you go
I
back
was
here, you
like,
got
woo.
pictures.
So we have news on the new pump and VFD here at the pool. It has been installed, and I can tell you that it's very quiet. And it just
After he
starts
changed it.
really slow, yeah. It was in a high frequency, and then you couldn't stand being there for over 5 minutes, and then he changed something on the
That changes how it.
on the electrical, and it did brought the high pitch down. So it is working properly. We just have to do the proper timings for the different speeds. So we got our lowest and our high at the rates that we would want it, and we just have to see how it works with the rest of the equipment and chemicals. So that way we find a good low rate in the flow bit.
We could run at 60%, that's the lowest we can go, but it's quite noticeable, and hopefully it'll save the money.
Awesome.
Wow.
That's awesome.
So,
Okay.
yeah, that was a good project that I think it's gonna help the district in
Excellent.
the long run.
Cool. All right.
Take them out.
So, been having a little communication with Trails, as he will mention. They're starting to do some prep work, and I got a call about access to a property. They're viewing and taking out some trees on the property that goes from 7-Eleven to String. So they're getting ready to do some prep work there. That was kind of just this week, when last minute when I got a call, but that's moving along. And just been out there taking care of the regular maintenance, and thanks to all the staff, even though we've been shorthanded at times, we've been able to take care of business, so much appreciated.
The parks look great.
Yeah, they do.
Pictures are at the end.
No,
So you can
I
find
saw the
pictures.
pictures.
Yeah, I went through some.
We're
Yep.
so happy about something that's finally here after how many months?
Yeah.
We were crossing our fingers,
I
remember?
saw that, I was like, yes. Yes, okay. All right.
Thanks, Horacio.
So any other updates?
Anything, Jennifer, you want to bring up? Audit?
We have, Larry's gonna be here in a couple weeks.
Oh, gosh, yes, that time of year.
It is that time of year.
It just goes by too fast.
It just seemed like it was 4 months ago,
I know, I thought I was asking questions.
3 or 4 months ago.
All right,
We
so
also have our Capri Visit. They used to do annual visits, now they're doing it every 18 months. So we had our last visit last April, and it's more intense this time. They ask for a lot of information 2 weeks in advance. They want to be able to preview our injury illness prevention, our emergency action plans, our COVID prevention plans.
Wow.
Lots of other things in advance. And then I would think that would speed up our meeting when they're here in person, but they're going to be here pretty much all day, from 10 to like 4.
Oh, wow.
But then the results of that kind of feed into our fees, right? What they charge us for our insurance, right?
It does
So-
help, yes, yeah. A
so we
good,
gotta-
a good score
we gotta-
helps.
We gotta get a A+ score, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I have
we
no
did last
doubts.
time.
I have no doubts.
Yeah.
None whatsoever. All right, directors, how about you, Manny?
Nothing, thank you.
Okay.
Oh, we're not,
No, we're going back to
yeah.
new business, 13B.
sorry.
What did I miss?
We're not there
We
yet.
gotta go now to 13B. Right here.
13B.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that was, no, check mark for the administrator report.
Oh, okay.
And that was to see if they had anything on the administrator
Yeah,
report.
yeah.
Swimming pool project.
Okay, swimming pool project timeline. Sorry about that. I got distracted on the photos.
Yes, that's easy to do, that's right.
All right. So, new business, 13B. Timeline update.
Yeah, so the timeline for the swimming pool, been a couple minor changes, but we still have our target as opening the pool in the spring of '23, hopefully by April.
Even though with the crossed out months, that's where we were targeting it, we're still thinking we can make it.
We're hopeful, we're hopeful. Let me read a couple things that have happened since our last meeting. Aquatic Design Group submitted their draft of the schematic design drawings and documents on September 2nd, which was before our last meeting. Staff reviewed those and submitted questions to Aquatic Design Group on September 15th. I also submitted the drawings to David McMurtry, our legal counsel, on September 15th. We talked about that at the board meeting and went ahead and did that. Aquatic Design Group responded to staff questions and made related corrections right away on September 16th. David McMurtry reviewed the document, submitted his recommendations to me at the end of September, September 29th. He also reviewed and updated our agreement with Aquatic Design Group. He had some very helpful changes to that, which Aquatic Design Group signed right away. I reviewed McMurtry's changes and forwarded them to Aquatic Design Group on October 6th. Aquatic Design Group responded that same day acknowledging that they would be looking at the design, at the suggested changes from our legal counsel. Aquatic Design Group contacted me on October 13th, today, stating that the final schematic design drawings will be ready by October 19th. They would also be sending them to us for review and have the county health department forms completed and ready for us to take to the county for submittal. So we're looking at middle of next week, having all that ready.
And then it takes them 30 days for the permit process,
Hopefully not, but potentially,
potentially, okay.
yeah. And that's pretty much where we are. Yeah, so the county health, if they're fast, then we're going to be a little ahead of schedule. If they're slow, then we'll be behind schedule. If they're right on time, we'll be cutting it close.
Okay.
So that's kind of where, we're counting on the county to come through for us,
There's two things with the county, right? The health department and the
Permit.
permit.
the permits, yeah.
And we're worried about
Boy.
the permits.
Yeah.
We're gonna put it out in the universe that they're gonna be on time.
Yeah. I
Yes,
talked
that's-
to, so there's a new park going in, it's a combination park, it's called Empowerment Park. It's a fully accessible park being built in Sac County, in the Arden Arcade area. There's a few different park districts combined on that project. I spoke with one of the leads on that project yesterday, about their experience with the county. because they just went through the process, and they said the county was very quick for them.
Good.
So,
Well, we will
hoping we get the same
keep that in
results.
the universe.
So that's pretty much the update for the pool project.
Okay.
Promising.
So 13C, the roadway trail project, timeline and update.
Yeah, so the timeline hasn't changed much. The good news is, we did get our CEQA study completed and approved.
Good.
Yes. And so now the holdup is right here with me, as far as getting the deed restriction application documents completed for state parks. And so my goal now is this month, get those in. What I need to submit is really gonna just free the money up. It's gonna be able to move the money from the state parks account into our account within the state parks. So we'll have access to those funds. And it was a step that wasn't originally one of the steps. It was kind of thrown at us a couple months ago.
Right, they said you had to do that.
Yeah. It doesn't necessarily, it's not gonna slow down Peter Larimer. Might slow down his payments a little bit, but it won't slow him down,
Okay,
so.
all right. So 13D, the Arcade Creek, Cripple Creek Trail project.
Yeah, this one's all verbal, so the project broke ground on this Monday.
That's so exciting.
Yeah, broke ground on the 10th. They broke ground on the west end, right off Sunrise Boulevard. They anticipate still needing about 200 working days. They're planning on only working weekdays. There might be occasional Saturdays that they may need to get in there, or holidays. They're hoping not to. 2 trees are going to be removed within Sundance, no trees within String.
Good.
They're planning on removing those trees as early as the 21st, a week from, tomorrow. They expect the trees to be removed, probably in October. So that's going to happen. Residents will be provided 2 to 3 weeks of advance notice before the active construction of the trail reaches their vicinity. So the trees are not in anybody's,
Right, it's not in their,
immediate
next to their
vicinity,
homes
so.
or needing any notification.
Yeah.
Okay.
Our 4 property owners that will have their backyard fences moved and replaced will also receive that advance notice. Because supply chain issues related to wrought iron, the fencing replacements on those properties may be delayed. They're hoping to get those fences done before the trail gets too far along. Their goal is to do that kind of at the same time they're removing trees, but that's not going to happen now because of supply chain issues. So OVparks will be taking on 3 small projects. Just
That'll be
wanted,
part of the trail committee report, so we can say that for next month.
that's fine, that can wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've already discussed it.
Yeah, we've got.
It's
there's a lot of
$30,000.
Stuff that's on there, yeah, that I want to share with y'all what we get to do. That's optional, but we want to do them.
It's $30,000 worth that the board's already approved with the budget.
Right.
So,
Some stuff will get priced out though, too, right?
Right. So
Okay,
we'll
so
save
we're-
that, yeah.
Going to move on to 13C, an update.
I'm sorry,
on
one other important item I didn't mention is the timing. So they expect the work within Sundance and String to be completed between March and July of 2023.
Okay.
Weather and other factors can, of course, change those. but-
Okay.
So now we'll move on to 13C.
Did we talk about the string improve, that was the trees, right?
No trees in String, it's just the trail
Just
going
the
through.
trail.
Oh, okay.
So we were going to update on the survey.
Verbal?
Yeah, so the benefit assessment survey, the survey was mailed on September 15th. Susan Barnes with SEI expects to have some preliminary data collected the week of October 17th, so next week. And we expect to have the data presented to the board at our November 10th meeting. So that should be something to look forward to.
Yes,
Hopefully the results are
exciting.
good.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to good news.
It's all been positive discussion in the community.
It has, and yeah, the Orangevale Happenings Facebook page, I thank Jason and Melissa for sharing that with me. But some good information, good feedback. And sure, there's people that don't want new taxes, and they're probably going to vote no, and I respect that. But there's a lot of people that really are in favor of what we're going to be doing with that money.
There's a little confusion about item 12, but.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we should probably, before it goes out on a ballot, we need to clarify how that works, because I didn't think it was just willy-nilly. I thought we had to base it on certain parameters.
I can
So-
explain some of it now if you want, or we can wait for Susan Barnes next
We
month.
can wait for Susan Barnes,
wait for Susan.
because that way, hopefully, Orangevale Live will be here, and that can get posted, and that the community can understand
Yeah.
that.
But just real briefly, it can't increase more than 3%.
Oh.
And that's only if the consumer price index is at 3% or higher.
Okay.
There's a couple minor exceptions, and we can get into that, but there is some sort of a scale.
I thought it was something restricted. That makes
I
sense.
just want to have the appropriate, I want to be educated in order to answer it appropriately when I'm asked.
And it is up to the board, and that becomes part of public discussion.
Right, the public can come and say, don't do that.
Correct.
Right.
So, come, tell us.
Yes.
Camera wasn't on.
All right,
Do it again.
all right. So now we can go to director's comments.
Okay, I open it up again for me, real quick.
Okay.
That's
Manny,
okay?
Go ahead, Manny.
real quick?
I already told Melissa this, but I was dismayed because Chubby Checker's 81 as of last week. And Horacio had no idea who Chubby Checker was.
I'm from Body Holly on.
But anyway, I'm praying for rain next Thursday, Friday, so I think that's coming. So anyway,
Just a cyclocross.
but you guys are doing a great job at the parks. That's one thing I am able to do is get out and walk. And again, I take my trash bag and stuff. It comes back empty every time, so that says a lot. And I see people out there picking up little bits and pieces too, which is amazing. Even a cigarette, but I mean, come on. So anyway, you guys are doing one heck of a job out there. And I do appreciate it, and I know Orangevale appreciates it. We've seen by the letters and stuff. So that, and I've seen, every dog I saw was on a leash. So that says something. So the word may be, getting stronger out there. So anyway, that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thanks, Manny.
How about you, Sharon?
I don't have anything to add. I just think the staff and everybody's doing a great job. I look forward to everything the park does and the program. So, yeah, I think it's awesome what we have here in Orangevale.
All right, Rika?
Echoing everything that's been said, welcome. Can't wait to see what you do. Looking forward to tomorrow night, and yeah, you're doing a good job.
So you guys all know, I appreciate everything you guys do in the parks as far as the maintenance and upkeep and care. And we look forward to all the activities, especially this time of year. So Andrew,
Pressure is
the pressure is on.
I'm looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to it too. Thank you for joining us in that position. We're excited to have you, so. And for the rest of the staff, make sure, please, to pass on my gratitude for all that they do.
Will do.
Not sure what I'm gonna wear. I have to come up with a costume, because I almost forgot about tomorrow.
And I will say that we did the Bow Wow Days booth, and I forgot to mention it on my topic. They made tons of comments. We had multiple community members come up to our booth just to state how beautiful our parks were. So they did come over to appreciate the parks and the maintenance of the parks. So thank you,
Yeah.
also from the community from the Bow Wow Days.
Yeah, that was a fun event. That was
And
fun.
also highlight on that, of the two special events that we had, Bow Wow really did, was conscious about the grounds and the whole impact to our parks. So we appreciate that, from the district perspective and for what was done for having a targeted event. So we appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it was a fun event for staff to be at, and
Location was great, I thought.
I think we have more to come. I'm
It's
looking
an
forward
excellent
to it.
location.
Yeah.
Excellent location.
Yeah, great job, Lisa, with that. And also want to thank my staff that worked the booth. It was great for me to see how high our customer service is, just how great they are and how much the community really likes us.
It's just one of those things, it's just a good day,
Yeah.
right? It's just a good day.
How can you not have a good day with that going on?
So it is now.
Lisa, I'm sorry,
Oops,
7?
I forgot to mention something earlier.
okay.
A couple of things. With the Personnel Committee meeting, another thing I wanted to bring up is our vaccination mandate policy. I want to readdress that. Might be a good time for us to change course on that. And just wanted to bring that up for discussion and bring a recommendation to the board when we can. And then also one other note is we're 26 days away from the next election. And just want to say, there's two people running, and there's, just from my experience, and this isn't any kind of an endorsement, but just want to mention that Director President has been great to work with, and been present at all of our board meetings, including a special meeting and 2 committee meetings, and has been learning fast and has been full of a lot of questions, and really appreciate the support.
And we wish
from
her luck.
everybody.
Good night.
We appreciate everyone. Hope you go out and vote.
Yes, vote.
All
Appreciate you all.
right, so do I have a motion to adjourn?
I move we adjourn.
All right, we will adjourn
Wait, we got to second it.
okay,
I'll second it.
at 7:25.
Wow.
I know. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Thank you.
Every time you look for the camera, Lisa, you weren't on camera, 'cause I had the